Hello and welcome to my second Sunday broadcast that I do every month live here in my community group, the Jessica Alstrom Quantum Life community. And I am excited about today. There's been some second Sundays that I've had to crawl up here and do this, but this particular second Sunday is really fantastic, good energy that we're in right now. So first, if you're hearing my voice for the first time, my name is Jessica Alstrom, and I'm a teacher, and I'm a teacher, and I own a worldwide academy that is focused on becoming higher self. It is called Transcendence International Consciousness Academy, and we are global. So we are actually live streaming in about 106 countries there. We use Facebook as our platform to reach people just quickly. The server can handle our classrooms. And we have several different groups and classrooms here for more kind of more detailed teachings. I have my Jessica Alstrom Quantum Life subscription group, and that is something that you pay to be a part of, but we do a lot of teaching in there. And I actually have been doing a lot of teaching this year. This year I've probably done more teaching in my groups and in my classrooms than all 8 years that I've been doing this professionally. I channel basically the collective message for lightworkers. So I love working with teachers, messengers, empaths, anybody who is waking up, anybody who is wanting to live out loud, live on purpose. Those ones of you who know that you're meant for a bigger, better life and you're working on that, usually find me. I've got 300 videos or plus on YouTube now, so you can always hear me blabbing about something. And I love quantum physics because when we're talking quantum physics, we're talking about unlimited potential. And we're talking about basically possibilities that have never existed before. And we are moving into a time that is basically untapped potential. And we don't have to suffer anymore. It is such a choice. So today's message is really about where we are collectively right now. And instead of doing like a message where I throw in some astrology and some numerology, I really feel like I need to do a teaching today. And the reason why is because June of all the months out of the year, especially 2018 being a 17 months, this is the month of you shining like a rock star. So if you're not shining like a rock star and you're not moving into your powerful potential right now and milking the energy right now, then what I want to do is give you some teachings today that can kind of help you understand why that's not occurring for you, why in your reality that you're not experiencing being able to basically step into the spotlight of your potential. And it doesn't mean step in the spotlight, like what I'm doing or what other teachers are doing, but your own potential. It is really, June is all about shining. And it's all the energy of the Gemini, and we're moving into a brand new moon that is all about Gemini. And Gemini is the lightest of all signs. It's the air. It's about just movement and flow and dance and singing and celebrating yourself. So if we're not celebrating ourselves as light workers, we have got to pull back inside and we've got to look within. So I decided that I was going to do a teaching today instead of kind of just get you really hyped up, because I believe that this teaching will kind of unlock some of the answers that you've been questioning about the shift so far. We all get the new moon updates and we get the ascension updates, and we really feel like, okay, this universe is going to help me this month. The universe is going to like lay out the red carpet for me this month. This is what she's saying. This is what he's saying. Where's my abundance? Where's my stuff? Where's my people? Where's my tribe? Where's my happiness? And really, we got to pull it back, and we got to do a little quantum teaching here, and we got to talk a little bit heavier and more detailed about law of reflection. All right. So when we're talking about law of reflection, we are talking about the fact that there is nothing at all outside of you. Nothing. That means Cindy's not here, this room is not here, this camera's not here, this computer's not here, nothing's here. I'm literally reflecting my entire universe from inside of me. And therefore, for me to actually have a perspective and to have a holographic experience of being human, then I have to have creation around me so that I can have a feedback system. So that I can actually feed back how I am feeling at a visceral, deep, energetic level and project that out in front of me so that I can get a feedback of where my frequency and vibration is actually residing. It's that simple. So if there's nothing outside of me, and there is nothing except me within me, the me, myself, and I, the conscious, the subconscious, the body, then what is really happening? Well, what's happening is when you decided, observed, witnessed the reality as a child that you weren't allowed to be authentic, that you weren't allowed to be free, that you weren't allowed to shine, then what you did is you created a sub part of yourself. You created a basically separate identity, a disassociation of a lower perspective within yourself. Lovingly, we call it ego, we've called it the inner child, we've called it the subconscious, we've called it all these different names. But the truth of it is you disassociated, and this smaller part of you became a separate visionary within you, which means it was looking at the world the same as you were looking at the world with your higher level of consciousness. Higher consciousness, lower consciousness, duality. The you within you, two eyes, one focus. Basically, two eyes, one focus. You're blending your two realities into one. You're seeing the bittersweet manifestations of the lighter side and the darker side of yourself. Hopefully that makes sense, all right? So with that being said, when you begin to level up, you begin to wake up, you begin to rise up, what is happening is that lower disassociated part of yourself begins to pull back. It begins to pull you back into the shadow. It begins to pull you back into your old self, the one that can't grow, can't be seen, can't be heard, doesn't feel safe, doesn't feel loved, and doesn't feel worthy of being here, doesn't feel worthy of being a part of this huge global shift, doesn't believe that it's talented enough, which is completely the furthest thing from the truth. So what happens is this begins to pull you back, but not in the way of your own mind just soliciting misinformation of the past. See, you have to understand that the ego part of you, or the unevolved, unconscious part of you, basically is the byproduct of the mortal version of you. Now, mortality creates and basically governs matter. So density, so light, density, right? Ego controls the third dimension. Higher self controls all of the other dimensions. So ego has the ability to channel through people, places, and things. So what happens is when you start to rise up, you start to level up. Your ego begins to channel in people, places, and things around you as basically a big punch in the face to pull you back. Now, I have witnessed this in real time in my life a lot. Every single time I'm ready to level up, I encounter someone who's upset with me, or hating on me, or blaming me, or judging me for something that I did in the past. I get caught in an old codependency trap in a relationship that begins to want to hold me back from rising above. I attract a little bit of a funk with the flow of abundance or communication. And I have to say to myself, if there's nothing outside of me, then what part of myself is channeling through that conversation? What part of myself is channeling through that manifestation that just literally is holding me back? Because basically when you ask, the universe always says yes. But then it says, prove it. So what I've got to do is no matter what is happening around me, no matter what is happening through me, I have to continue with that strong intention that I made, keep my focus unwavering, and walk towards the finish line regardless of what is happening. Because my ego is literally the part of me that is disassociated, unevolved, and completely mortal, is governing the material world. It is governing my body. It is governing my friends. It is governing my money, because these are all physical manifestations of reality. So light workers, when this happens, usually what happens, they do, is they pull back, they start to feel small, they start to feel contracted, they start to feel like failures, they start to worry, they start to fear, they start to go back into the old character of the person that they were right before they leveled up, and they start to question all of this. And the reason why I wanted to teach this today is because it is time for you guys to really understand that there's nothing outside of you. And if you are creating the pitfall and the lion's den and the tar pit and the money problem and the relationship problem, then all you have to do is say, thank you for showing me where you are, reflecting the old version of me, the old version of who I was and what I got blamed for 15 years ago, and who I was when I was unawake and unaware and unloved. But this is who I am now. So I'm going to look at this problem. I'm going to look at this challenge. I'm going to look at this argument or conflict or miscommunication or money problem with the eyes of someone who is focused on who their potential and who they could be versus who they were. Because if you continue to look at your future through the eyes of who you were, you're basically going to be recreating a pattern over and over and over again. And you stay quantumly entangled with all of these memories because your body is the part of you that is responsible for manifesting your reality. Reality that you feel is tangible, material, comes from a material part of you, which means your frontal cortex, the higher self, projects its imagination into the idea of what it wants, and it has to trickle down through your belief systems until it organizes into a thought or a feeling or a circumstance that you can believe based on who you've been and who you could be. You decide what you want, you start taking a step in front of you, and basically what you do is you face yourself in the mirror. So that conflict that you're experiencing right now is the mirror of the past. It is the mirror of the belief that you downloaded in probably your first 7 years, and where someone told you that you are not enough, that you don't have enough, that you can't be who you want to be, that you're not allowed to be who you want to be. But you are 80% non-physical reality. You are 80% spirit in this 20% body. I call the whole universe in a little itty bitty living space, right? And that is who you are. So with 80% of you with access to the whole entire universe, right? And 20% of you holds on to the memories and the focus of third dimension so that you can keep it real and have a real experience that feels viscerally like you're really touching and feeling things to make it more believable so you'll stick around, otherwise the soul would get bored and check out. Then you have to understand that you are responsible for creating a brand new perspective and walking through the fires of the belief systems that you've created by default and by being unconscious in the past, that it's your time to stand up to those things. Because what happens was when you walk through the door of fear, basically the gates of heaven open up. Now that's obviously metaphorically for walking with your own courage into your own happiness and bliss. Because that's why we came. We came to shine our light uniquely. We came to show up and basically work through all of these limitations that we've created as the human perspective within us, and walk through the gates, each one, with the clarity of who we could be with our possibilities. I just got finished teaching a 4-week workshop in my academy class called Milking Frequency. It's kind of a funny name, but that's really what it's about. It's about learning how to find a frequency that you would like to manifest or a reality that you'd like to manifest, and you literally live and breathe and become that frequency. Now, when that frequency is the only thing in your focus, you have to realize that there's going to be things that are going to be coming at you constantly to break your focus, which means that you create your dream life and you're focusing it and you're living there and you're breathing it and you're using all of your 5 senses to basically download that frequency into those lower chakras. Then you know what? Your twin flame from the past is going to pop up. Always. Right on cue. Or you're going to have the money to move and all of a sudden you're going to lose that money, right? Or you're going to have something happen that is going to basically try to detour you from your focus point, because this is virtual reality and this is the video game of the universe. You're here to play against yourself. And all the time you are seeing mirrors and mirrors and mirrors and mirrors of lower disassociated parts of yourself that you have denied and rejected within you, that are now popping up to the surface saying, hey, I'm facing you as a challenge, but what I really want to do is be integrated. I really want you to see me with the eyes of love, and I want you to integrate me back in. I don't want you to fight me. I don't want you to break me. I don't want you to yell at me. I want you to love me. And so your job is to every conflict realize that you're looking at a part of yourself and see that conflict as a version of who you could be, And how could I love this perspective of me? Thank you for showing me where I was vibrating. Thank you for showing me where I was. Thank you for being such a good challenge for me so that I can find the courage to face this money problem. Because if I have the courage to face this money problem, then I am downloading my worth and I'm downloading my value. And that will allow me to reach a bigger audience or the bigger population, because then I can help more people with my unique experience. I can help more people with my light. So in this workshop, I really, really got into body hormones. And the reason why is because, you know, for a really long time, there's basically two matrices that are set up that we can dumb this whole quantum theory down to two perspectives. There's the field of consciousness, which is the field of possibilities, which is the quantum matrix. And then there's the third dimensional matrix, which is got its own field and its own collective vibration. And that is basically the vibration of fear. It is the vibration of lack. It is the vibration of scarcity, segregation, contraction. And the field of possibilities is expansion, it's love, it's opportunity, it's knowledge, it's wisdom, it's power. We've got these two matrices. And at any given moment, based on what you are feeling, you are either tapping into the third dimensional matrix or you're tapping into the field of potential. All the time, every day long, it's frequency and vibration. It's that simple. So basically, the body is constantly in communication with all components of consciousness, which means the ego is in communication with the body, the higher self is in communication with the body. And basically how the communication works is through hormones. Just like the universal hormones is astrology. Because basically when the astrology shifts, your moods shift, don't they? Your priorities shift, just like hormones. So hormones are literally the universal guide that basically adds the micro and the macro together. So the macro of the universe is using astrology as its hormones, and the body is using its hormones as basically a way to tell you who you are and how you feel. Because at any given moment, if you're not conscious and your body releases hormones, you will shift into that mood, you will shift into that character that dictates how you feel. And if you're unconscious, you're not going to know that that's not you. So what I showed my class how to do last week in the academy class is I showed them how to manipulate hormones through thought. So a lot of times, you know, you run 5 miles and you get the endorphins, and endorphins make you feel happy. And I always love that scene from what is the movie? Forrest Gump. No, it's oh gosh, it'll come to me. But it's Reese Witherspoon. It'll come to me. Anyway, she's in this movie. She's talking about that scene where she's like, "Oh no, she works out. Happy people don't kill people." It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Someone will put it in here. Anyways, bottom line is that the hormones that we release dictates our state of being. And if we are in the control of that, or if we are in the focus, I don't like that word, we're focused on who we choose to be, we can manipulate the hormones that the body gets, and the body begins to feel just like who we want to be versus who we are feeling. Because believe it or not, you're around things that are triggering hormones all day long. Thoughts, feelings, sensations, smells, sounds. That's why I'm such a huge advocate of music, because it basically turns your body into a hormonal explosion of joy if you're using the right music. So what I taught my class how to do was to basically find the thoughts that release the hormones that make you feel unlimited, okay? Because if you feel unlimited, you're going to have unlimited thinking. You're going to be accessing unlimited potential. And then when those challenges start to come up as you're walking through the wall of the fire that you created, you're going to be in this magical place where you feel good. When you're in a good mood and something happens, you look at it very differently. So a fast forward way that we can use quantum physics in order to basically manifest the reality that we're projecting from the inside out is to manipulate our own hormone system. So we're using this hormone system to create any given time of the day endorphins, dopamine, right? Adrenaline for power, not in stress, and oxytocin, which is my favorite, because when you're using oxytocin, you're in that gamma frequency, and when you're in that gamma frequency, you have access to all dimensional truth. You have access to channeling the entire universe. People pay big money and go to jail for a long time to get the drugs that release the oxytocin in your brain, and all you actually have to do is think your way into it. Just like the universe is thinking its way into its astrology plan to help you milk the frequency that you want to create. So, which person do you choose to be is based on who you choose and how you choose for your body to feel. This is a body game. The closing the gap between third dimension and 5th dimension is this physical body. This is the bridge. This is the gateway. This is the manifestation. This is the viewpoint. This is you behind the veil within yourself. And to close the gap on duality, you've got to make the unconscious conscious, which means that you have to start taking responsibility, that it is law of reflection before law of attraction. Law of reflection is all about projection, and that is then going to equal the law of attraction. So what you attract is based on you miss the feedback of what reflected. If you don't look at what's reflecting, it will manifest because it does give you a glimpse. And all you ever have to do is look at your reality around you. How are people treating me? What's my money flow like? How am I using my time? What am I doing to my body? What am I saying to myself in the mirror? What am I saying to myself in my mind? Okay, because 3rd dimension is mind and 5th dimension is heart. So if we are going mind and heart, mind and heart, mind and heart, you can imagine the hormonal crisis that is going on in your body. Now, the hormone that resides mostly with the 3rd dimension is adrenaline. And adrenaline's job, honestly, at a sacred, higher frequency space is to give you superhuman strength. That's its job. But as a collective species that has been living in fear for a really long time, we stay isolated in our bodies and use basically adrenaline to create superhuman fears, superhuman worries. It's the excitable hormone. It gets you all worked up. And if you have nowhere to run and you have nowhere to channel that energy, you're going to channel it here. And have you noticed how fast you can go into a negative thinking spiral like an Olympic athlete when you're using adrenaline to basically create negative? And this is the #1 thing that I see happening with light workers, because our bodies are so sensitive empaths. Your body is a very, very, very sensitive vehicle. And therefore, you're perceiving and you're experiencing other people's frequencies through your body because you need that perspective in order to be of service on the planet. You need to be an empath. But if you're going to be an empath, you also have to understand that you are playing the game multiplied because you're feeling your own stuff and you're also feeling the collective stuff, which is you on a bigger page. Still you, bigger page, okay? So with that, you're going to be running a lot of stress hormones if you are not conscious. If you're having anxiety, if you're having depression, if you're having worry, you're using adrenaline incorrectly. What I say is we've been losing a lot of people lately to depression, anxiety, worry, stress. But just like I say, all pain is a messenger, death is a messenger too. Because everyone who chooses to leave this reality leaves a very powerful message behind for us. It is the things that poke us that get us to wake up. It is the things that hurt us that get us to move and change the way we're operating and change our viewpoint and change our belief systems. And so I honor those who have left us behind, because what they are doing is they're leaving us a powerful message that we don't have to do things the way we've always done them. We can use all of the tactics that are against us to create positively. I can use adrenaline to give my body superhuman strength instead of giving it superhuman worry. I can use oxytocin to reach higher levels in my meditation, with my clients, with my body, with my experiences. All right, I can use endorphins to go next level happiness and peace. And all I have to do is think a thought. That's how powerful you are. It's not about taking actions to release these hormones. It is about sitting with yourself and basically having the thought that releases the hormones, because as soon as the hormone releases into the body, guess what? Your body believes it's you. Your body believes you're having that. I'm happy right now. I'm sad right now. You see how I said I am? As soon as I say I am, I'm putting it into the collective that I am. And that's a very powerful intention. And that's just how I felt after I ate a piece of chocolate. So what if I thought my way there? Just like you're using the hormonal experience of astrology to move yourself into your ascension process. Okay? So with that, I really wanted to kind of give you guys that teaching because my academy hears me talk all the time about this, and I've been channeling in that academy for about 2 years, and I've got about 2,000 hours of labbing in there about all of these things, the mechanisms of manifestation. The universe is a very, very simple organism. It is about reflection, and reflection is what creates expansion. I see, therefore I am. I see, therefore I am. I see, therefore I am. I get bigger and I'm bigger and I get bigger and I get bigger. And now I'm God witnessing myself through myself having an experience that I can choose to change. If you choose your body's hormones enough during the day, you will shift into a parallel reality basically where you're not running adrenaline for stress. You'll not be killing your nervous system. You will not be killing your human body. You will actually stop the aging process. You will stop all of the things that technically have to happen in third dimension, and you will start living the unlimited potential that all of the big gurus are talking about right now. Because it is the time for you to live your truth. It is your time to help as many people as you can get your hands on, or your eyes on, or your lips on, or whatever it is you're doing here on this planet, and really become the service operator that you know you are. Otherwise, the feeling of you not being able to stand in your own truth and power will destroy you. It will, because that's a feeling that is worse than depression. It is worse than anxiety. It's the worst feeling in the world to have a message inside of yourself that you can't share because you're afraid, or a feeling that you can't share because you don't feel safe to share. You've got to become creator. Okay, so what else did I want to talk about? I want to talk a little bit about money because I have been getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails from light workers over the last couple of weeks about all their money's going away and they can't, rub two nickels together, and they're working hard and they're producing material and they're working in classes and nothing is manifesting. Well, I want to tell you guys that money is not what you should be looking at. What you should be looking at is the metaphor of money. What does money represent? What is the idea of money? Because we have to go away from the conscious into the subconscious about the role of money in your life. If the universe only has one answer to all of your questions, and that is yes, then what is your relationship to money that would reflect the universe to take it away? So what I want to do is I want to go into the metaphor for a minute before we kind of wrap the message, okay? The metaphor of money is I am safe, I am free, I am valuable. Those are the three frequencies that we are really projecting within our bodies and then reflecting back to ourselves to create our money state of being. Have you not noticed that in the world there are millions and millions of super rich people that are not that nice? You don't have to be nice to have money, right? You got to make it. Money's got to make you feel safe. Money's got to make you feel strong. Money's got to make you feel valuable. Money's got to make you feel creative. It's got to make you feel free. And if you look at why certain people chase money, it is because that is their objective. Now, light workers don't have that same objective. We're not chasing money to feel free, but we have the contrast of needing it to feel free. We are not chasing it to make us feel strong because our hearts feel strong. So we're not operating off of the same systems that these millionaires are operating off of, and therefore we're finding ourselves working harder and we're broke, right? Which doesn't have to be, because basically money is just a frequency. So I'm going to give you some tricks to kind of leave you there thinking about this, and maybe if it resonates, you'll jump over and join the academy and do some really good work with us, because we're about to go on a global tour and we need all of you. But the first thing I want to share with you guys is about money is actually about how you value yourself, okay? So if you've got the first 7 years of your life where you were not valued, or your words were not important, or your voice wasn't important, or you were the crazy kid, or you were the loner, or you got bullied, or whatever, there is going to be a frequency inside of your patterning, your energetic field that says, I'm not valuable, right? So then when you go try to attract money, how can you attract money if that's valuable? You have to be a vibrational match to that. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a week and say, I am valuable, right? And then go be valuable. Go be valuable to someone. Realize how valuable you are to your grandparents. Realize how valuable you are to your kids. How valuable you are to your job. How valuable you are to this mission. How valuable you are. And I want you to just sit in your own value about where you are valuable. You may not be, you know, what your husband wants you to be, or your boss wants you to be, or your religion wants you to be, but find the value system within yourself, and I want you to say, I am valuable to, I am valuable for, I am valuable, because that will change that patterning within your body. And I want you to get into a place where you're feeling it so much that you're releasing the hormones that you want, dopamine, you know, whatever it is that you want that really makes you feel at peace with that I am, all right? If you're afraid of money or afraid of not having money, you are a vibrational match of being afraid of not having money. Right? Sounds easy. But we're like, no, I'm afraid. Okay, whatever you are afraid of, it's a mirror, right? It's the mirror. It is literally you looking at yourself saying, I am afraid. And the universe says, I am afraid. There's some fear, right? And when you step into the light is usually when all of these old patterns start showing up again. Because you've kind of pushed it away and you've worked in your 3D jobs and you've had your 3D relationships and you've had your lower frequency reality, and now you're stepping into the power center of yourself, your solar plexus power of the I am, and now all of those fears are being projected back to you. So what you've got to do is you've got to find the metaphor of the frequency, and then you've got to milk the frequency to get in alignment with that. So instead of I'm afraid of money, how about I am a magnet to money? I create money. I am projecting money. I see money everywhere. Wow, there's a penny, there's a dime. Money is everywhere. Potential is everywhere. Abundance is everywhere, right? And you have to shift that story, because the story is a feedback system that is going into the collective and coming back as a reflection inside of you, and you're having that experience. If you have a subconscious fear of not having money, eventually you will manifest that through a reflection, or you'll be around someone who doesn't have money, or you'll hear a story and it'll trigger your own fears. It's triggering adrenaline, and that's stressing you out, okay? Safety is another one. If you don't feel safe in your relationship, if you don't feel safe in your job, if you don't feel safe in your body, you will attract the money flow to stop. So how do you feel safe in your body, since that's the metaphor? Well, you create safety where it already exists that you're not paying attention to, because there is safety everywhere around you that you're not paying attention to, so it is your job to tap into those safety things. Deserving is another one, right? Most people think, oh, I did this in the past, I did this in the past, I did this in the past, I don't have these letters up to my name, I'm not the weight I want to be, I'm not accomplished, I don't deserve it. That is the #1 frequency that holds your money line back. Okay, I don't care what you did in a past life. The universe doesn't care what you did yesterday. It cares who you are today. And today you deserve a chance. Today you deserve happiness. Today you deserve to be able to speak your truth and live as if. So those are the frequencies that you think you're having money trouble. You're not having money trouble. It's a metaphor for the game. You're having safety issues. You're having deserving issues. You're having value issues. You're having freedom issues. And freedom is the #1 thing that lightworkers came here to experience. Freedom of voice, freedom of sound, freedom of light, freedom of truth. You came here to experience freedom in all areas, and it is the #1 thing that has been blocked for you. So it is the #1 negative pattern that resides in your body. So that pattern, I am not free, will stop your money line if you're about to grow. Because guess what? If you grow, you might be free. God forbid, ego's got to hold you back, because ego's channeling that argument you had last week. Ego's channeling your bank account. You're channeling yourself. See, the thing is, it's not just me sitting here channeling higher self. It is me constantly a channel for everything, because all I actually am is focused consciousness. So any conversation or observation that I have is coming from a channel. It is coming from the past, ego's memories down at the magnetic center of my body, or it is coming from my frontal cortex or my imagination that is all about potential. So I'm always imagining and then manifesting through that point of imagination. All right? Okay, so that was a lot. I told you, I can talk. I must have a lot of oxytocin going right now. And I just wanted to leave you guys with this message, because light workers, you are everything to this planet. It is our time. It's our opportunity to basically stand up and show the world through our own frequency who we are and who they are because of it. We have to act as an example. We cannot be afraid and be an example. We cannot stand behind the veil and criticize and be an example. We have got to step out into our truth. And I just wanted to share a little bit about law of reflection and the physical body today, because that is the last hurdle that any of us have to experience, is to become creator and to become the driver of this vehicle that is manifesting our reality, and to be focused on what could be instead of what was, and to be focused on what can happen versus what is happening. Circumstances don't matter. It is just about who you choose to be. But then you've got to get so focused and so determined that when ego starts channeling things around you to get your attention, to pull you off of your path, that you say, yes, that's who I was, and now I'm going to send love to that. Yes, I used to be broke, but I don't need to experience that anymore. And I'm going to walk in my truth and my deserving and my abundance and my value and my safety. And I'm going to walk into the face of fear. And on the other side of that is going to be everything that I need and want to create my life's message, my life's work, my life's happiness, my soul's desire, my heart's desire, right? Doesn't matter what it is. Your potential is completely unlimited, and your bodies don't need to age. Your bodies don't need to be sad and suffer, but you've got to start creating how this body is working, how this body is showing up, how all of this is happening within you, through you, to you, for you, okay? All right, so I wanted to talk just a little bit before we jump into any questions, if there are. If anybody has any questions online that I can answer for you live, you have an opportunity to jump on now and ask questions. Cindy's going to look. If not, I'm going to just kind of take a couple of minutes and talk about this world tour that we are about to start. I've been wanting to do this tour for about 5 years, and I obviously was not the character who was in the right vibration to be able to stand in that type of light. So this last about 6 months, I've been really working on facing all of those ego channels and getting those roadblocks out of my own way so that I can live my own potential. And as soon as I decided that I was ready to go on a world tour, the most talented people in the universe began to show up and present themselves to me. So I knew I wasn't going to do this alone, because my idea of a global tour is not for me to stand up on a stage and talk to you for 3 days, because you get to see that 3 times a week, me doing that in my pajamas at my own house through the academy classes. I actually showered today, and I'm not in pajamas, you guys, class. I am showered. But this world tour is going to be about celebrating sound and celebrating frequency and celebrating vibration and celebrating our own potential and our own power. It is going to be about, it's going to be a show that is just nothing but quantum physics basically displayed. We're going to have sound healers from all over the world that are going to shift your vibration instantly and help you rise out of all of these troubles and all of these channels that need to be shut down right now so you can step into the light. It's going to be a 3-day workshop that's going to start in Florida in October. And we are going to have dance performances that are going to be a huge production of representation of light and dark and chakras and energy and frequency. And it's going to be like a production that, anyways, it's going to be amazing. We're going to have sound healers. We're going to be doing light language channeling, and I'm going to be doing live quantum healings the last day, right on the spot, using anything and everything that I have access to and that you have access to, which is all forms of potential. And it will be an audience style healing, and I will be using my DJ to create some sound and light effects to help download and embody the frequencies of the message and the healing that we're partaking in. So it will be basically a 3-day insane party that is designed to clear up and put you into mastery of time, relationships, health, and money. I'm going to have a big team, a big crew doing this with me. So I will not be alone, and I can't wait for the party to start. Oh, and we're also going to have, as a celebration of ourselves as lightworkers, we are going to have an archetype ball on the Saturday night part of the event, where you have to come dressed as higher self, or the archetype, or the superhero that you are inside, and you cannot break character. So it will be a big production of dance, sound, light, and healing. So I hope to see you on the tour wherever you are in the world. We'll be in Florida, and then we have the talks of being in Australia the last part of the year, and our 2019 calendar will be released soon, and all of those dates and information will be released soon, because we are working night and day on that right now to deliver this global, universal party with you all. So, any questions?
You teach an online class.
I do teach an online class. Who is that? Who asked?
That is
Nicole. Okay. Yes, I teach right here on Facebook. My classroom, my open classroom, is actually Jessica Alstrom Quantum Life TICA, T-I-C-A. It stands for Transcendence International Consciousness Academy. It is a paid group. It's $22 a month. I teach 3 times a week, or 2 times a week in that classroom. I channel a live workshop usually, and I do a live question and answer every week in that group. For people who are ready to join the university, it's a little bit more intense. It's a little bit more investment on your part, and I don't sugarcoat anything. That is our year-long academy class that has different certifications and different opportunities to teach with me globally, and that is available through Facebook as well, but you've got to kind of reach out to us for that, right? We'll have my social media person put all of our contacts and lists of all the different classes and opportunities that you can have right there. And I just also wanted to let you guys know that my mentorship is coming to an end. I've done it for this whole year now, and I'm going to take my last group of mentor students in October. I will have 10 spots in October. All of our July spots are completely filled, but I do have some spots open in October if you guys are ready to get down and dirty with yourselves. It is a very intimate journey between me and you, which is the universe. And instead of a DIY version of the classroom style that I teach, or a collective version of quantum physics that I teach, I basically work one-on-one with you for 3 months to unlock all of your potential and heal all the shadows that are around all of the light, so that you can start walking a clear path into your purpose and be part of the mission here on Earth to basically play the game globally, and through our unique light, bring us back to unity as basically one. So all these opportunities you can find on this particular group in the feeds, I'm sure. Otherwise, you can always reach out to us at transcendencekc@gmail. That's how you can get my right hand, Susie. Other way, you can, find us on Facebook. Like I said, you can find me on YouTube. And I hope that you're a part of this global mission with us to basically transform ourselves back into our highest potential. All right, so that's really why you're here. You're here for you. You are the universe. You inverse your story, your life. It's time to make it matter. Anything else?
Yeah, Natalie asked, I had a dream that my spirit guides called out 08, Judgment 18, and I keep seeing 808 every day. Any insights?
Okay, who is this?
Natalie.
Natalie had a dream about, that was saying 808. 18. Okay. So basically, what I would do, instead of me answering this for you, is first and foremost, I would look up what in numerology the number 8 means. When I look at that, and I look at the translation of your subconscious, because all dreams are things. If you're resonating in the 5th dimension, your dream state is going to be lucid parallel reality shifting, which means it's really happening. If you're unconscious and you're dreaming, basically what is happening is your subconscious is trying to get you to wake up through your dream state, right? Chronic feelings, what are you waking up feeling, right? But if you're really awakened and you're starting to dream, you're lucid, which means that you're in a parallel reality where that's happening. So 808, I want you to look up those number sequences, and I want you to decide what that means to you. But when I look at that, what I'm seeing is it's a call for you to be more in your own potential, to look at yourself as an infinite being. Infinity is infinite being. It's about calling yourself in and looking at yourself and deciding who you choose to be. What is it that you want to do here? And it isn't about Judgment Day. It's about you saying, who do I want to be, and stop the judgment process, right? So I want you to go look up numerology, and I want you to see what resonates for you. Because what I got on a bigger scale was, it's about your infinite potential, and it's about you going at this fork in the road right now in your reality. Really can see on your timeline that you're at this fork in the road of who you choose to be and what is pulling on you: obligation, loyalty, expectations, this separation is kind of pulling on you right now. And when you look into the number 8, it will all start to click for you. Okay? Another one?
Yeah, Bonnie asked.
Bonnie,
yeah. What's the best thing for me to know right now is I'm ready to apply for the second time ever.
oh, if you only knew. I do nothing. She wants to know, Bonnie's getting ready to go live and wants to know how to prepare. My secret is I don't think. I know that sounds like a total blonde thing, but I don't think, because the thing is if you think, now that's a third dimensional expression of who you are versus how do you feel? Are you excited to share your message? Can you imagine how many people you're going to reach? Can you stand in your truth of the message without thinking about the message? Because that is really kind of my secret, is if I think about it, then I'm judging the way I look, I'm judging how I sound, I'm judging how many times I mess up. And that is me taking score versus taking stock of, I've got something that I have to share, and it doesn't matter if it's perfect, because actually the more imperfect it is, the more I can relate to people. So I want all of you, to get into the art of no mind. If you can get into the art of no mind and no thought, then you will feel your way exactly where you need to go. And if you can control your own feelings, then you are really in divine control, right? So that's what I do, is I just don't think. Are we coming to Europe? Hell yes. We will be all over Europe. We're just trying to lock down our dates right now. So when we get those all done, we will be launching them on the website and all over our groups and in our classrooms as well.
And then
where do you sign up? I will be posting things in this group for you guys to be able to sign up for that. I'm also going to be doing lots of giveaways for free tickets to that. Free giveaways that I will be releasing probably in the next couple of weeks once we get all of our promotions done. But I did want to share this now as it is happening. And I wanted to also get you guys excited about what it is you're doing in your realities to help you understand that we're all in this together. And that once those dates and everything gets, set in stone, then we will be releasing them in print, and it will be in this group and all of my other groups. So don't worry, you'll all have access to it. Yes, we're still planning California. We're probably going to be in California end of January, beginning of February. Mm-hmm. Yep, got to go home some point, right? Okay, is that it? All right. Perfect timing. I'm going to let you guys all go have your Sundays with your families and your friends. Thank you for jumping in and joining me today. If you're hearing me for the first time, welcome. I'm glad to meet you. I'm always up for a conversation, and let's change the world together. All right. So I'll see you guys all on the flip side, and we've got my pajamas behind the screen for class. Yes. Thank you. It's all right.